spooky friends. This is Colleen.
And this is Margaret.
And we are the Cousins Weird. Hi, we are together in our little pod lab today. No one's sick, so we don't have to worry about quarantining and all that stuff. We have a bunch of Halloween candy snacks, cookies,
First
popcorn.
thing, though, Colleen needs to tell everybody why it sounded like she was talking underwater last week.
So last week in our episode, when we were two different places, right? And I was doing it with my headphones on, the recording, and through the whole thing, my microphone was in my armpit the whole time. It's not now, though. I got it right here. I wasn't using the regular clip-on microphones because we were in two different places, so I just had my headset on, just cheap. I don't have whatever the hell they're, AirPods. I don't have anything fancy. I just had some cheap plug-in headphones. And the mic probably isn't great anyway, but when you have it shoved in your armpit the whole time.
Colleen told me that. I almost had to pull over the car. I was like dying.
And I was like, we're not doing that again. We're just going to keep it with me sounding like underwater. It's hard to redo a podcast, though, when especially the way we do it. Like, one of us research one week and the other one listens to the story. So you're not going to get real reactions if we have to redo it and heard the whole thing all over again.
We did have to on part one of the the Franklin Expedition one, because halfway through it stopped recording and we don't know why. So we had to
we did have to do that.
Part of that.
But typically we won't do it because we just want real, genuine reactions.
Natural, because Colleen says, I'm going to do this, and then I have to make sure that I don't look up anything. Yeah. So I don't want to know about it. Let her do it.
Even if we know this, like, the premise, or we knew about it, or, I know about Dracula, but you said things that I haven't heard of. So, like, all those reactions were real reactions from me about it. And even last week I was, still, I feel really good this week. I'm actually drinking, and I'm not on any kind of pain meds other than ibuprofen. So from recovering from surgery, I feel good. I feel like Bride of Frankenstein is like my spirit animal right now. It has slice on my neck and stuff. But we're drinking again.
Of course.
Yes, and we got blood orange margaritas because, blood and Halloween go well together.
And these taste pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
And then Margaret got us these cute little hats. You're going to see them in the pictures. We have these cute little Halloween hats on today. And we have yummy snacks. We have Halloween candy and cookies and stuff. So,
I'm wearing, I had to order the Colourpop Hocus Pocus palette.
We both got
those. It was the one, they released one last year and it sold out in like 11 minutes and I didn't get it and I was very sad. And when they made a new palette this year, which was not my favorite, right? But they re-released last year's palette, so I had to get it.
I know, we both got it.
Yeah,
like
and I'm wearing Hocus Pocus eyeshadow and the Winnie lipstick kit because Winnie is my spirit animal. Yeah. Yes.
I'm not wearing any. I should have wore something green. I should have wore green makeup for the Bride of Frankenstein, but I did not. I just wore orange, which is Halloweeny.
It's fine.
And we're getting all Halloween spirit right now. Obviously, we love the spooky season, and Halloween is in our souls.
And I was responsible for the treats this week, and I brought a big bowl of Halloween candy, and some of the candy's disgusting. I am one of those weirdos. I love those Mary Jane brand peanut butter kisses that come out on Halloween.
She's the only one that likes them.
And some of them are black, and some of them are wrapped in black paper, and some are in orange paper, and they're peanut buttery.
They are good.
And they're so good. I just love them so much. They're so good. And I can't find them anywhere. And then I was in the Dollar General today, and they had generic ones, and I bought them, and they're disgusting. So
she was gagging.
Buy them. It was gross.
She had to spit it out. It was that bad.
It was disgusting. But yeah, we got Smarties and some Reese's peanut butter cups because that's like what that was like the king of Halloween candy when I was a kid. All those Reese's peanut butter cups were like the one thing you're like, you count how many you get.
And you're like, no one touch them.
And Smarties are just good.
And then when your kid goes trick-or-treating, you're like, oh, you won't like those. And you pluck them out. Now, those they have razor blades in them. I don't like that. Which I'm going to talk about, because we're talking today about the origins of Halloween and some history behind Halloween. And probably everyone knows a lot about the origins of Halloween, but we couldn't let this time of year go by without talking about it.
No,
it would be so weird. And I found some things out that I didn't know. So this is pretty interesting. I found some interesting stuff. I read a lot of different Halloween books that are out there. I read some history channel research that they had. I've read a lot of stuff.
I love the History Channel.
I know, me too. And then, so I'm really excited to share with you today the origins of Halloween.
I got my first Smithsonian magazine in the mail the other
You did?
day. Yeah, I was very excited.
Oh, that's right, because you subscribed to that.
I did, because they were having a sale.
Awesome.
I got excited. Who gets magazines anymore?
Not many people. You know what's weird?
Because they're stupid expensive.
Here's a funny story.
Yes.
All of a sudden in the mail, we've been getting magazines like HGTV ones and Glamour and Home Living and Cooking and all these things. And they're coming from my husband. Every one of these magazines is Richard. Now, I know Richard's not signing up for these magazines. I don't know where these... I'm like, was Abby selling them and I didn't know it? And like, he's like, no, I don't know how we're getting these. I don't know if someone did it as a joke. Like, one of his friends did it as a joke. Like, Richard getting Glamour. They thought that'd be funny. I don't know. But I'm like, all right, I'll read. I'm reading them. I'm enjoying it, but I don't know where they're coming from. Like, why are you getting all these magazines? It's like, I don't know. It's so funny. My big burly husband with his big beard reading Glamour.
Yeah. With his big beard.
He has let me put makeup on him and he looks great in it, so.
Yeah, I bet he does. He probably has beautiful eyelashes, doesn't he?
He has fantastic eyelashes.
Why? Is it the men
Boys
with the
always
eyelashes?
get that.
It's the peacock. I say it's the peacock syndrome.
Yeah, probably.
Because they gotta look pretty for the girls.
Mm-hmm. And really though, like, drag queens, they do makeup better than anyone else.
Oh my god, yes.
A lot of makeup tips from drag queens that I watch. Because they're so friggin' amazing.
Fabulous.
So anyway, we just went off on a thing. But we're back again.
We went on a tangent. We're good.
Oh my god, I drink one drink and I just start sweating. It's so gross. I need to get that taken care of.
I drank almost all of this.
Oh my god, you lush.
It's delicious.
It is delicious.
Woo! I'm gonna be drunk in a minute.
Okay. The history of Halloween.
Ooh. You gotta wave your hands.
Ooh.
I watched Hocus Pocus yesterday.
Did you? I haven't watched it yet this year. We're gonna have a Halloween night at home where I'm forcing Griffin to sit and watch Hocus Pocus and something else.
We need to watch Practical Magic as
we do.
As
I
girls.
love Practical Magic. I love it. Okay. Back again. We bring ourselves back.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Okay. So Halloween comes from ancient. It's believed to have come from ancient pagan beliefs 2,000 years ago. So the basis of Halloween, they believe, has come from the Celts. So that was Western Europe, Ireland, Scotland, England, and northern France. They would celebrate Samhain, as they said it, but it looks like it's Samhain.
It's not Samhain.
No.
It's my huge pet peeve. It's pronounced Samhain, and it drives me insane.
But in some people's defense, there was a metal band called Samhain.
Because they didn't know what they were talking about.
So that's probably why people thought
they weren't real metal.
No,
they would have known
it was Samhain.
It was Samhain.
Well, maybe it was pronounced Samhain, and people are just stupid that they were their fans and just said, "Oh, it's Samhain." Anyway. So, which means summer's end, and it was held November 1st, marking the beginning of the new year and the end of summer, beginning of the cold months.
It's my husband's birthday.
It is.
It is. My little Scorpio. I love him.
So, because the cold months if your everything to do with your culture is based on nature and the land, and you harvest your crops to eat them, and then you get cold because it's cold in that part of the world in wintertime.
In our part of the world.
Yeah. And we're on the same hemisphere as these countries. You're going to see that the cold months, everything's dead, right? Which could mean people start dying. And people don't last the cold months as well.
You could starve to death if you didn't put enough food aside.
Exactly.
So
one of the things that they did, they would light big bonfires, and their druids, who were the priests at the time, they had a lot of power. They were the ones that they felt that this night they could predict the future of Margaret's sad because her drink's gone. They could predict the future about what the winter would hold, and that was one that they wanted to do. They wanted to celebrate the end of harvest, and they were going to they burned crops and they burned animals in sacrifice to the gods.
That had to smell terrible.
They had to smell awful.
With the fur.
Yeah.
Ew.
And they felt that the spirits of people who have died would come back to Earth during this time. Because that veil between the other world, in which we still believe today, on
All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve, which is the night before, is when people come back to Earth.
I'm drunk. Try to stand up and I'm
They
slipping around.
would dress in costumes and animal skins and animals' heads and wear them and dance around the fire. They would do this because they were trying to disguise themselves from maybe some of the bad spirits that were coming, because they're like, we don't want them coming and getting us.
Sexy.
Yeah, so we're going to get away from that. And like I said, the Druids built a big, large bonfires. And they had to do it, they had to light the bonfire with friction. They couldn't they used this wheel, and they, like the whole rubbing sticks together kind of thing.
Watch Survivor, you'll understand.
Yeah. Or Naked and Afraid.
Yeah. No thanks.
And they burn crops and animals, so to sacrifice to the deities, at the deities they believed in and they worshipped. And the people would depend on the Druids to predict the future and what would happen in the winter months. If they would have a good winter, if they would have successful winter, people wouldn't die, if they were whatever. And they felt that the spirits that came to Earth, the good ones, were going to make it easier for them to make those predictions. So they wanted the good spirits to come, and they wanted to hide from the bad ones. When the celebration was over, they would also set out wine and food at their house. So they put out their hearth fire at home, and they put wine and food out for their ancestors that were coming, because they wanted them to eat and enjoy food. And then when the celebration was over, each of them took a bit of the fire home to light their hearths, and it was said that it would protect them during the coming winter months. So
hearth?
Yeah, the hearth.
Saying hearth. It's like a hearse.
It's a hearth. I always said it like that because in World of Warcraft, yeah, I used to play it. It was called a hearthstone, and it was how you got back home, and I always thought it was hearth. Is it hearth?
It's hearth.
Hearth? All this time I thought it was hearth.
Hearth and home.
I thought it was hearth and home. I think you can say it both ways.
Okay.
I'm going to Google this afterwards. Someone will break this debate.
Here, I'm going to do it. You continue. And
okay.
I'm gonna... Wait. Hey, Google. How do you pronounce the word Hearth?
Google doesn't care. Google's a bitch.
I have the sound off. That probably doesn't help. Hey, Google. How do you pronounce the word Hearth?
Google's a bitch. She's not helping us today.
Nope.
I'm going to continue, Margaret.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. So, around 43 AD, the Romans conquered the majority of the Celt territory, and they ruled there for 400 years. So the Romans were really intimidated and threatened by the Druids because they had a lot of power, and they didn't want people to be relying on the Druids and their ancient ways. They wanted them to be reliant on them because that gives them more power. So they kind of wanted to abolish this fire festival. Yeah.
Side note, the word heathen is a derivative of hearth.
What's that to do with?
I'm just saying.
Oh,
it's like people say like heathen.
Oh, yeah.
You're a heathen, but it's actually a religion called heathenry, and it's people who it's like centered around the hearth.
Oh, like a kitchen witch.
Yes.
Cool. So, the Romans wanted to abolish the fire festival because they're like, that's given the Druids power. And they had two main holidays. They had it in spring when the change of season, and the change of season again in fall. And they wanted to get rid of these fire festivals.
And it's cool too. Like when you think about it, it wasn't like they were saying your God isn't real. They're like, oh, we don't want your God to be more powerful than our God. So they didn't discount it as being real. They just was like, no, our gods are more important than your gods. You need to get your gods away.
Right. So they blended their traditions. So they took the celebration of Fieria, I think is the name of the person, which commemorated the deceased, which went along with what they did during Samhain, and the festival of the goddess Pomora, and she connected to the harvest, and her symbol was apples. So it kind of fit in that both of their festivals and things kind of blended. Huh?
Like palm means apple.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
So they kind of blended